Oh, I think one of my neighbors is having a party. I really hope they can't. They're not like looking in the window because I'm just holding books up like a weirdo. Hi, welcome to a book jockey. I am doing my January wrap-up today, so get stoked. I said it was a January wrap-up, right? Yeah, I think I did. Okay, cool. We're fine. Don't worry about it. The first book I read this month was The Princess Saves Herself in This One by Amanda Lovelace, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't like my favorite book I've ever read, but it was good. The first half was definitely stronger than the second half, but it was a good little read. I think if you're looking into kind of more minimalist and sparse poetry, because as you can see, like, it's not like super wordy poetry, I would definitely recommend checking out Milk and Honey first by Rupi Kaur before you start this one, just because I think that one's just great. It's like on another level. This is good, but it's not as good as that, I think. But also, that's an objective opinion, so you might like this one more. Okay, the second book I read in January was Shiver, and this is really just a book that I finished in January, but I've been trying to read it since like September. It's by Maggie Stiefvater, and it's part of a trilogy. I'm not gonna read the rest of the trilogy, y'all, because I didn't like this book that much. I read the whole thing because I was interested to kind of see where it went, but I didn't find it particularly engaging. I found the characters to kind of be like, okay, like there wasn't anyone I felt particularly interested in. The plot was kind of it was a little slow, to be honest, especially in the middle. I think it kind of started picking up towards the end. Like, this was 380 something pages. It definitely could have taken a cut like of like 50 of them, I kind of feel like, because just the middle bits it wasn't that compelling. And I was surprised because Maggie Stiefvater has done the Raven Boys, that whole series, and I've heard that's super good. I haven't read them yet. I have the first one on my Kindle, but I kind of expected this to be on like a level of those just because those have received so much praise. But I mean, this was before that, so you know, authors grow, and I don't know. I think I might do a more in-depth review of this one, just because I have a lot of little nitpicky feelings on it, so that might come out. But I think if you're younger, maybe like in high school, and you're into werewolves, you'll probably like this, but me now as a 23-year-old reading this, I was like not feeling it. I do really like though I shouldn't flip toward the end. The font is blue. I do like that, and I like the cover a lot. I just did not like the book. So there you go. Okay, so the video cut off right as I was talking about Secret Love of Geek Girls, so I'm gonna just start that review over. So my dog's in here, by the way, so you might hear some jingling because he's wandering around. So The Secret Life of Geek Girls is a collected anthology of stories and comics, edited by Nicholson, and it's all just about like being like love and its relationship to you as a person when you identify as like geeky or nerdy. And I don't super love how the title, my dog's trying to steal my shit, but he's just exploring. Never mind. Okay. I don't super like the geek girl title, just as far as like, I feel like I identify as like a nerd or a geek, not like a nerd girl or a geek girl or a gamer girl. I'm just a gamer, but that's kind of being nitpicky. And I mean, I liked the stories and stuff regardless, so I actually borrowed a little cutie. You wanna come up? You wanna come up? No? Okay. I just love my dog. So, I had actually borrowed this book from my library, and then I decided to buy it just because there's a lot of stories in here and stuff that I think I would like to revisit at a certain point in my life, and I just thought, I wonder if my neighbors can see me. I just thought like this is something I'd like to come back to at certain points in my life, so I bought my own copy. Also, I just really enjoyed it, so I'm watching my dog. It seemed worth it to buy a copy. Since it was a collection, there are definitely some books I liked more than, or there's definitely some stories I liked more than other stories, but overall, really good read, really enjoyed it. Really recommend this if you're like a geek, and especially if you've had issues with romance and love in the past. If any of that resonates with you, I really think this is a good read. So even if you just like certain little baby fandom things, I think this is a valuable thing to read and think about. So yeah, really recommend it. And it also has a ton of diversity. It has a lot of stories and stuff that are just, it's like not all just like straight white people talking, which I also liked a lot. So yeah, pretty good. The fourth book I read was Wiccans Divine, Volume 4, and this was really good. I really enjoyed it. Writers Kieron, Gillen, artist is Jamie McKelvey, colorist is Matthew Wilson, letterer is Clayton Cowles, designer Sergio Serrano, Chrissy Williams is the editor, and Dee Cunniffe is the flatter, which is like flat colors, I believe. Like, person does it before they come in shade. This book was really super good. I really enjoyed it. I wasn't super feeling this series. I read volumes 1 through 3 and I was like, it's pretty good, but this kind of really made everything come together in a super good way. So if you've even read just like volume 1 and have been like, oh, I don't know if I'm sold, I would really recommend trying to get at least to volume 4, because this did it for me. I'm like, I'm on board with this train. So also the artist came back. If you read volume 3, they did guest artists, right, or doing like the issues, and that was super, I like that. But I do really like the original like art style of the comic book, and I would totally flip through it if this wasn't like full of a lot of things that would probably spoil people if you've only read the first couple of volumes. So yeah, I really liked it, really liked the style, glad they went back to it, and happy I'm gonna be continuing on with this series. So the final book I read this month in January was Vicious by B.E. Schwab. This was a kind of a darling of BookTube a few years back, and it's very deserving of that. I gave this like I think a 4 out of 5 on Goodreads, because it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I read it relatively quickly. The length was really good. It's only about like 350 something pages, which is nice. I think that was very appropriate length for a book like this. I get a little critical when books are like 400 some odd pages and it feels like you could have cut like 100 of those, just because like you gotta keep I like when books have a consistent pace, so this was one of them that I really feel like had a nice consistent pace. It wasn't like breakneck, but it was nice, and like good to read, and it was engaging without being like, oh my god, I have to finish it. But I mean, sometimes those books are good. So yeah, and the cover is really nice. Really enjoyed this. I think for those of you who don't know, it's about 2 dudes in college and kind of their relationship and their attempt to understand EOs, which are extraordinary people. So I don't want to talk too much else about it. I think I'm going to do an in-depth review, and I also don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to go too in-depth. But yeah, the one major critique I have of this book probably is that it's mostly dudes who are straight, so mostly white dudes. It's all white people, I'm like pretty sure, and everyone is straight or not stated otherwise. So not a very diverse book, but fun to read. So yeah, and I'm also excited I finally read this, because I think after she publishes her next book, she's gonna do the sequel to this book, and I'm excited because it seems like there's a lot of things that she could explore, so I'm excited to read them. So yeah, that's everything I read in January. If you want to follow me on Goodreads or here, you're welcome to do that. The link is down below, and yeah, on Goodreads I usually do like little blurbies about each book I read. It's not like a super in-depth review, but it's good if you kind of just want to get my overall impression of the books. So yeah, thanks for watching.